It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I'm in my hotel room. I wasn't expecting to do any more beer reviews whilst I was in Hamburg in Germany. But before I get my flight tomorrow morning, I've been to the Untitled Brewery and I spoke to a fantastic beer. What would be the best word to describe him? Somebody who's really interested in beer, knows a load of history about beer in Dortmund, and he explained to me about this export style of beer. Now, we all know the export style of beer, Carlsberg Export being one of the most famous of this style of beer. Now, this beer here, Dortmunder Kronen Export, is one of, or if not the oldest export brewer in the whole of Germany. Now this beer is coming in at 5.3% ABV, and they've been brewing beer in Germany since 1430. How cool is that? But it comes with a really interesting story. Is it gonna focus? Hang on. Right, let's move me out the way. Let's see if the... No, it doesn't want to focus. Anyway, I got the camera set up on the bed. Let's get the beer out into a glass, see what we get first and foremost. So yeah, I'm in Hamburg in Germany. For the Hamburg Beer Week, and this was a really interesting story. And yeah, as I say, I wanted to touch on this story while it's fresh in my mind, and I think it's a story that needs to be told, because I didn't really know too much about the export style of beer. I just thought it was a beer that was to be exported. But hey, that's a style in its own right, isn't it, really? So beer in the glass, we got a one finger whitehead, good levels of carbonation, clear straw looking beer. And here's the clue, It looks a little bit like a Pilsner, doesn't it? Looks a little bit like a Pilsner. But unlike a Pilsner, this style of beer is a little bit more malty. So let's get the aroma. It's certainly much more of a malty lager, light biscuit aromas here. A little bit of a hop aroma coming through, but it's more about the malt. But again, it smells really inviting. There's a little bit of caramel, there's a little bit of biscuit in there. Let's dive in. 5.3% ABV. Cheers. Ah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting because it's really good. I like it. I would describe this style of beer as being more of a... So if we're living in England, if we're living in the UK, this would be more your traditional style, best bitter type beer. Even though it's a lager, it's coming across to me more of like an English ale, an English kind of best bitter. Very good, very solid, biscuity, bready, nutty. All of the qualities that I like in a beer. But not very hoppy. That's what I wanted to finish with. Not very hoppy. In fact, there's just a pinch of bitterness on the back end. So, I give you a little bit of a sneak peek earlier on. I wanted to talk to you about the Pilsner style. And I really wanted to talk to you about the Pilsner style because it's really interesting to me, because there's something happening now in the car industry that is very similar to what happened here in the beer industry. So Dortmund in Germany, 1400s, everybody drinking this export style of beer, this malty style of beer for hundreds of years. And these breweries were massive. They were huge, big industrial breweries and big names all around the world. But like Tesla in the car industry, there's always a disruptor, somebody to disrupt the industry. Man, it must be Saturday night out there. All you can hear is sirens. So in the car industry for years and years, Tesla were producing electric cars, and the big car makers were like, we'll leave that man do what he wants over there, and we're going to take no notice of him whatsoever. And then all of a sudden Tesla becomes the biggest car company in the world by value, almost overnight. Happened very quickly. The dinosaurs of the car industry didn't really see it coming, and this is what happened with the likes of Krombacher Pils, just slightly south of Dortmund. All this was going on. Krombacher Pils and a few other Pils companies started to produce hoppy lager, Pilsner style lager. And these old style brewers, they didn't see it coming, they didn't react, and over a time the Krombackers of the world become huge and these guys become small. And I like to talk about this because this happens in every single industry in the world. People become comfortable, happy, sit behind the desk, earn the money, take the bonus, that type of thing. Don't look at what other people are doing, just concentrate on what you're doing, type of thing. It's a classic mistake. It's a classic mistake, and it happens in every single industry. So what are Dortmunder Kronen? I mean, what do they even look like now as a company? Do they still own all of that massive kind of buildings and stuff, which they once did? Personally, I don't know. I didn't ask the question. I wish I did. But they're trying to make a comeback. They're trying to be more social media aware. They're trying to be a bit more active in what they do. Whether it's too late. I mean, this happened very quickly. This happened over 3 decades. And in the beer industry, for something like that, a disruptor to come along, to be producing Pilsner, bish bash bosh, all of a sudden they've taken your market. It's quite astounding, really. Hundreds and hundreds of years of brewing tradition goes down the drain because they didn't want to change. They didn't want to adapt to a changing market. The beer is really good, but I can kind of see why Pilsner took the place of the export beer. I like it. I really like malty beer. I've got no problem drinking this beer whatsoever. But I can see a lot of people becoming excited by Pilsner and buying Pilsner. What's next? What's the next thing that's hitting the rounds? Personally, I think keep an eye on Helles. Helles Lager, I think that, as I used to call it, Hells. Helles Lager, look out for Helles Lager. It's a little bit between this and a Pilsner. It's got all of the lovely malts. It's got a nice amount of bitterness, but not as bitter as a Pilsner. So look out for the Helles. That could be the next big disruptor in the lager world in Germany and around the world. I love Krombacher. I really love Krombacher. I really like this. It's really good. Everything's in German. Kronen private brewery, Dortmund, 5.3% ABV. It's really nice to be able to experience this, to drink this, and to tell the story. If I waited for myself to get home to tell the story, then I probably might well have forgotten the story. So I wanted to do it in my hotel room tonight, just to wrap up my beer reviews of being here in Hamburg in Germany. We got one more. We got one more to come. We got a big kind of 5.2% 750 bottle of export from Bergman. This is, I think this is a newer craft brewery producing this export style beer, so it'll be really interesting to look at this one. Look out for it, DBB Bergman Export. Look out for the review of that. Thanks for watching. Please put your I better rate it, haven't I? Let's rate it. Right, I like it, but I can see why Pilsner took over, to be honest. I think I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. So 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!